This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi. We're learning Sefer Malachi, Paragimel, Pasuk Aleph. We read these psukim quickly last time. We're going to go through them a little bit more carefully now, B'ezras Hashem. So, Klal Yisrael were being criticized for two things. Number one, they were bringing bad animals as karbanos. Number two, intermarriage. And besides marrying Goyim, they took these Goyish wives on top of their Jewish wives, and because of that, their own wives were suffering because they became secondary to the primary shiktzas. Right? So now, and Klal Yisrael started speaking badly, questioning God's judgment. Is there really judgment in this world? They see the Rishon prospering, and they speak improperly against Hashem. Okay? Paragimel. Hineni sholeach malachi. Behold, I will send my angel, Rashi says, Levayer es harishayim, to destroy the wicked. Who is this angel? Different opinions. Some say this refers to Melech HaMashiach.
Where he's saying,
And Ibn Ezra was of the opinion that the Malach was Mashiach ben Yosef. So I'm going to send some type of angel ahead of you to the Metzudas David says a Malach min Hashamayim, a heavenly angel. He's going to destroy evil. Ufina derech lefanai. He's going to clear out a road before me. In other words, he's going to prepare the world for the revelation of Mashiach. Okay? Rashi says he's going to clear out the path from the wicked. The Malvim says Asher Yifne Derech Hazem Yikol Avnei Mechshel. He's going to clear out the road from all stumbling blocks. He will prepare the world to do tshuva. And then when the world is ready, then, look, there's a very important pasuk, and if you never saw the pasuk, at least it's a song from Shwaki. Ufisoim Yavai El Heichalai, and suddenly he will come to his temple. Who will come to his temple? Ha'adayin, the Master, God, Asher Atem Mevakshim, that you seek out. Suddenly, God will appear. Mashiach will not be a process, he will come suddenly. Now, it doesn't mean it won't be a process, because it might be a natural process, but when he comes, it will be a surprise. Whenever Mashiach comes, whenever it will be a surprise. I'll tell you a story, you might not like it, but it's a story nevertheless. And that is, after, I believe it was the 6-Day War, there was a lot of Messianic fervor. And Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky got up and said, he guarantees Mashiach is not coming. He said, it's one thing you want to say, maybe he's not coming, but how could you ever be sure he's definitely not coming? So he said, because we have a tradition that Mashiach comes only when you least expect it. When everybody thinks he's coming, that's a siman that Mashiach is not coming. But that's what it's saying over here. Whenever Mashiach will come, it will be sudden. It will be not when everybody is getting up, everyone makes their calculations and everyone's ready. It comes when you least expect it. Okay? Says Malachi, Malach Habris, and the angel of the covenant. Now, who's the angel of the covenant? One explanation is, who is the angel of the covenant? Let's see the Radak. Radak says, Oy Amar, either it's the Melech HaMashiach, is the Malach Habris, or it's Eliyahu. Now, right, we have a tradition that Radak brings down that since Eliyahu was Mekane and was zealous about the fact that Klal Yisrael did not perform Bris Milah, so the Rebbe Shem told him, Chayecha, he swears that Eliyahu Hanavi comes to every single bris. Some say that's a reward for his zealousness, and some say it's a punishment. So you say, what kind of punishment is it to have to go to a bris? You get a free bagel every day, a bissel lax, maybe even some eggs. So why is it a punishment? It's a punishment to go to a bris? The answer is yeah, because otherwise you'd be in the Mesifta Dereki, you'd be learning. Right? Some people, you know why I wasn't here today? I had a bris. Sorry to hear that. Right? It's a punishment. If when you gotta go, you gotta go. But it's better, you're better off being at the shiur. Okay.
Can you go back a piece on your
Okay, yeah, let's
So the Adon is one shot, is the Adon is the Adon Shalom?
Yes.
And suddenly he will come,
Yes.
but he has to come to a place.
Gimel Aleph.
What is that? Heichal?
Yeah. I mean, doesn't the only, even if you say it has to come down from heaven, something has to come before him.
The Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah, no?
Well, Az Yavai Hashem Lishkan Behechaloi Lamata. In other words, it sounds like even if it's not completely built yet, but the place is always Mechuvan Keneged Mikdash Shel Mala, and he'll come suddenly. Now, I want to focus on that pasuk. Okay, one second. Malachi Bris.
Stop after the word Adon, like I think also in Shmos, Lefnei Adon Hashem, to break it up. There's obviously a reason for.
Yeah, because there are two munachs. Whenever you have two munachs, you have a psik in between the ha'adain. Ufisayim yavay el hechalai ha'adain asher atem mivakshim. So the first, it's to tell you do the munach. There are two munachs. When you have two munachs.
Why do they put the moon up there, the Adon,
Chapter 3 in Malachi.
to stop it?
That's a common thing. That's a common thing. That you have a psik between the two munachs. Okay, Asher Atem Chafetzim, Hine Ba, he's coming, Amar Hashem Tzvakas. Okay, so let's talk about this Inyan. Upisam Yavai El Hechalei Ha'adan Asher Atem Mevakshim. Now we know that Yitzias Mitzrayim was the prototype of the future Geula, like the Navi says, Ki Meitzeischa Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Arenu Neflais. And Rabbeinu Bechai writes in at least 4 places that every single thing that happened when we left Mitzrayim will repeat itself by the Geula HaSida. Rabbeinu Bechai says there was Kriyas Yamsuf, there will be a Kriyas Yamsuf. There were 42 Masais in the Midbar, there will be 42 Masais. Rabbeinu Bechai says that Yitzias Mitzrayim is the prototype of the future Geula. And certainly Yitzias Mitzrayim was B'chipazayin. Suddenly, quickly. When the night came, here they're languishing, they're wallowing 210 years, but when the time came, bam, they had to run out of there like nobody's business.
Wait till the boker.
What?
Ten
Wait
Makkos
till the
also?
boker.
They couldn't leave their house until the morning, but
They couldn't get out of their house because God was out there.
but they didn't have. When did they not have time for their bread to rise? When they went from Ramses to Sukkos. Right? That means they didn't even have 18 minutes from Ramses. From the time they left their house in the morning until they got to Sukkot, it was 18 minutes. No, it happened very quickly. It was B'chi Pazayin. And that's what the Navi Malachi is saying, Upisam Yavay El Hechalai. So by the way, the Sfarno writes that when Yosef HaTzadik was sitting in jail and Paroi had his dream, what does the Pasuk say by Yosef? Vayiritzuhu min havar. They ran him out of the pit. So the Sfarno says, because all salvations of God happen suddenly, like it says, Yeshuas Hashem, Herafayin, Vayiritzuhu min hagvar, Ki b'chipazan yatzas Mitzrayim, and then he quotes this pasuk in Malachi, Upisam Yavai El Hechalai Ha'adan Asher Atem Mevakshim. So these were the 3 salvations that all happened suddenly. However, if you look in the Haggadah, the Nesivos, the name of the Nesivos Haggadah is definitely top 5, maybe even top 3 all-time Haggadahs. The name of the Haggadah is Masa Nisim. And Nesivos quotes the question of the Maseh Hashem, Rabbi Eliezer HaRoifei, who is a Rishain, who asks that there's another pasuk that says about the Gula HaSida, Kiloi b'menusa teitzeu, that it's not going to happen suddenly. So the Nesivos asks, why was, by Yitzias Mitzrayim it was a shvach that it was b'chipazayin, and by the Gula HaSida, it's a shvach that it won't be b'chipazayin. And he basically gives an answer that the Gula HaSida will not be suddenly, it will happen naturally. So how we reconcile that with this pasuk, Upisam Yavai Hechalai? I have no idea. But certainly the Sfarno learns that this pasuk, Upisam Yavai Hechalai, the Sfarno, in Parshas Miketz says very clearly that all salvations, Yosef coming from the bar, Yitzias Mitzrayim, and the Gula HaSida will happen suddenly. Okay. Pasuk Beis. Umi mechalkel es yoyim bayei. Who could withstand the day that God reveals Himself, that Eliyahu comes, that Mashiach comes, because that's going to be a day of cleansing. It's going to be a day of weeding out. Not everyone's going to make it through. Only the tzaddikim will make it through. The wicked will perish. So in other words, who could sustain that day? Who could withstand when he shows himself? Kihu ke'esh mitzaref. He will be like a purifying fire. Uchevoiris mechabsim. And like the launderer's soap. Rashi says, Uchevoiris mechabsim, kevoiris shal mechabsim, the soap of a launderer. A launderer's detergent. Shemaveris kol hakesim, it removes the whole stain. Kein yaver kol harisha. Buris is an herb that removes stains. Now what is he going to cleanse out? What's he going to be cleaning? What is this Mashiach going to be cleaning? He's going to be purifying the wicked. And the Radak says, take a look in the Radak. The wicked are the stain, and the wicked will be removed. Pasuk Gimel, V'yashav mitzaref, he will sit and purify and smolden, u'metaher kesef, and purify silver. V'tiaris b'nei Levi, he will purify the children of Levi. V'zikak oisam, and he will purify them. Kazav v'chakosef, v'hayu l'Hashem, they will
Why do we say in the second part kesef and zahav, in the first part only entire kesef?
Good question. V'hayu l'Hashem magishe mincha v'tzedakah, and they will be for God those who offer gifts in righteousness. Now, what in the world does this pasuk mean? Says Metzudas David that this pasuk is speaking b'lashain b'nei Adam. That this malach, he's going to sit like a shofar. Remember, Klal Yisrael asked, "Less din v'less dayan." Now, we don't see any judgment in this world. Rabbi Shalom says, "Hold your horses. One day you'll see it. One day you'll see it." And he's going to be mitzaref and metaher like your metaher kesef from Sigim. And he's going to be Matar b'nei Levi are the Kohanim. Beforehand, we criticized the Kohanim and Leviim for offering impure sacrifices. The day will come, the Navi says, when the Kohanim and Leviim who are serving will only offer pure sacrifices. Okay. Now, look in the Malbim. V'yashav mitzaref u'matar kesef. You want to know why it says first kesef, and then in the middle of the pasuk it says kazav v'chakasef. Says the Malbim, achar sheyitzaref es hasigim sheim harisham. After the wicked are purified, which will occur as soon as Mashiach comes, that's an easy job. In other words, if you want to rid the population of Rishayim, that's 1, 2, 3. He's a tzaddik, he's a rush. That's black and white. That doesn't take it. But then Pasuk Gimel, Pasuk Beis was weeding out the Rishayim, says the Malbim. Pasuk Gimel is a little bit harder. Now we have all the frum Jews, they all look the same. Who's in and who's out? That's V'yashav. Then Mashiach has to have a seat for that one. First, to rid out the Goyim from the Yidden, okay, you have Jews wearing yarmulkes and wearing tzitzis, okay. They're in, everyone else out. Now he comes into the shul. Everyone's wearing the same talis. Who's in and who's out? So now Mashiach has to... He has to sit. They were rid the first time. They didn't make the first cut. Yeah, yeah. V'yashav mitzaref u'matar kesef. Good, after 5 years you're playing, it's great, right? Achar sheyitzaref es hasigim, give the man a cigar, right? Achar sheyitzaref es hasigim, after the wicked are cut, now Mashiach has to have a seat. And now he has to sit and purify the silver. You see, the Rishayim, they weren't even called silver. They were just purified. Kihu ke'esh mitzaref. They were just a stain. Now we got to get to the nitty gritty. See how the Malbim, without the Malbim, you don't see any of the nuances of the Psukim. Pasuk Beis, it doesn't talk about purifying silver and gold. It's just talking about purifying. But Pasuk Gimel, now we're talking about purifying the good, the better from the good. So what's Hashem going to do? What's Mashiach going to do? he says, "V'oz yasmin l'tzarf l'tar gamas hakesef shegamas hatoivim shenishra achrei habadolas hasigim v'harisham yitzaref shenis k'may shematar shenis as hakesef hanaki shekvar nivdu la'asigim menu v'kvar together hakesef u'mitzaref shenis."
So instead of getting it to 0.925, which is normally sterling, so first he gets it to like 0.8, and then he refines it further to get it to pure silver.
Right, so the first thing the Malbim says, that the good people that remained after the dross has been removed, they're going to be purified. And the Rishon are going to be purified a second time. Like you purify silver, even after you purify it a first time, you then go ahead and purify it again. And it says, V'tiaras b'nei Levi. Even Shevet Levi, who are like purified silver, he's going to purify them like gold and silver. Now, gold is more valuable and needs more purification than silver.
More difficult purification.
And you're more makbid that gold should be purer than silver. So the Bnei Aaron,
That's 0.999.
the Bnei Aaron, the Kohanim, are going to get the higher level purification like gold. And what will remain are only Kohanim who offer before Hashem Magishe, Mincha, Bitzdaka.
But then why does the pasuk tell us V'zaki goes osam kazav v'cha kasev? He could have just said kazav, and we would know from there that the purification process is more detailed and more difficult, and what comes out is refined. I don't understand what the kakosav means. I understand the first time didn't say anything. That's the Rishayim. The second time we had the Yidden and the Rishayim who had to go through a second.
All right, we have to think about that. Okay, so Rabbi said this is the first part of the third parak of Malachi, and Mirz Hashem next time we're going to begin the Haftarah of Shabbos Haggadah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.